So in this video, I'm gonna just show you how to do a Playblast. It's quite easy, but just to show you exactly why you need to do a Playblast. Well, Playblast allows you to preview your animation in a video format, so you can see basically your animation in real time and probably get a look and feel whether the timing is correct for your animation, where the character is reacting in the way you want him or her to react, or the movements are they as you planned, are they natural, are they not, in terms of you don't want them to be rigid in such a way depending on what you're animating. In this case, for an animation production, it's quite important that you create or have Playblast, so that in the issues or in the case where you're doing sound production or you're doing sound recordings or you're creating soundtracks, you want to have that animation clip in order to know where the timing's going to happen or where certain sounds are going to come in. So it is important to do Playblast, which I will show you how to do a proper one in preparation for animation in itself, the whole pipeline. Okay, so right now what I have here on my screen is basically I have my right character and he's animated. If I hit the play button here in the timeline, his name is Victor, so he's just basically walking down, I would say hallway, but this is just a little box and cube I've done. So basically what I want to do is create a play blast of this sequence. Right now I'm in my camera 1. If you go to let's see, I want to display my heads up display. Let's see my camera names. Right now, as you can see down here, I'm looking for my camera 1. So I want to render or create a Playblast from this camera. So essentially, Playblasts are created from whatever camera you're looking currently at. So I'll just take you through there. We'll stop that for a second. If you go on your timeline, an easy way to get your Playblast options is to right click and you have this Playblast option right here. You click on the little box there and there you go. This is your Playblast menu. Normally the thing about Playblast is sometimes if you're rendering it on screen, there would be a little box where you see it being rendered out. It does require a lot of memory, so it is important if you're doing the rendering not to have anything in the background too much. Most times I render it off screen, so you see this is checked here. So I would suggest maybe just rendering off screen just to avoid using too much memory. Format, it really depends on what codec you have installed on your computer. I just have AVI. Sometimes you might have MOV or MP4 or all the other formats. So depending on what you have, choose one that's workable that you can use. Encoding, normally leave that to none. If we want to really get good quality renders, sometimes it's good to set the quality to 100. It might take some time to render out, but at least you're getting a good quality from there. Setting the scale to 1 meaning that this is the actual proportions and dimensions from your render settings. So the display size would be from your render settings. So if you go to Window, Rendering Editors, go to Render Settings. You will go, if you scroll down here, scroll a bit down, go to your image size. Currently it's set to 960 by 540. I will go, I'll change it to HD 720. So the width is 1280 by 720. So whatever the display size from render settings, it's getting from the image size here. So we can close that. Frame padding is 4. You can leave it as that. And you want to save it to a file. So you really want to save it to a particular folder, or else automatically or by default Maya will save it as a temporary file in the Maya folder in the documents location area. So you want to really, might as well just choose where you want to save, your file to. I'm gonna probably save it, to video, this folder, and I will just call it Anim Victor Hallway. So that will just be my file save. Okay, good. So what it's going to do is it's going to render. So when you hit play blast, it's going to do a play blast of whatever is in your time slider. So there's no option. So if you're rendering a certain scene, make sure that the animation sequence or such is from your timeline, from the time slider from the start to end. Most of the times for me, I like to make sure that, my scene is clean, especially if you're going to be delivering this Playblast clip, the clip, to another person within your group, someone else who's going to, probably produce sounds or, watch it or preview it. Sometimes I like to clean it up by not, showing the controls here or showing the camera name. And it's quite easily, you can quite easily hide those elements. So if you go to show, NURBS curve, just hide that and go to window, where am I? Actually display, excuse me, in your display menu, go to heads up display, and you can hide the camera names. So right now you kind of get basically a very clean looking file. So, there's nothing else going on but just the character and his environment. So once that's all cleaned up, you can easily just click Play Blast. And, it takes quite a while, especially if you're dealing with a high quality video. So right now it is play blasting. Almost there. So as you can see, it's rendering, but you don't get to see the preview of, or basically the state of where your character is. This is just to really save you memory and get you probably a good efficient video at the end. So after it's rendered, automatically, your video player will, pop it up and play that video. As you can see right now, it seems very laggy. You're not getting this action in real time, and it's quite easy to fix that. I don't know the actual solution, but what worked for me is to basically, I'll just close this off. If you actually go to the folder where you rendered that video at, you see Anna Victor Hallway. What I normally do is I just duplicate the video. For some reason, it works. If you duplicate it off a bit, just copy and repaste it, you actually kind of fixes that issue where it's lagging in the clip. So I actually seen it's done miracles for me. A quick fix, I would say. I don't know the reason why, but it works. So if you double click on that copy and open that up, now you see the character moving in real time. Quite better, not as laggy. So just a reminder and tip that when you're doing a play blast, and if you want to get it from a particular camera, you have to go and look through that camera. You have to go through you would need to go through your panel's perspective and look through that camera that you want to render from. So always make sure it's set to that. Make sure you clean up your scene. Anything that you don't want to have shown, make sure that's hidden when you're not animating, and you get a very clean video like this, which isn't your final animation, but at least you get a look into the timing of the walk in this case, how long the character gets from one spot to another, whether you need to make changes or different tweaks there. And it's a very quick way, to kind of critique your animation and improve it later on. So that's it. That's it for play blasting.